Hi, Libra, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your Venus retrograde reading for you. Now, before we dive into this reading, I want to make an announcement. I am open to private readings, meditations, and animal healings. If you're interested in any of those, check out my website, daneharttarot.com. It's also linked in the description box below. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they are also linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's see the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. This is the King of Swords. So Libra, we're represented by the swords in the minor arcana. We're represented by justice in the major arcana. And this makes perfect sense. So we are ruled by Venus. When Venus is in retrograde, we feel it just intensely. So we can be a little bit more sharp-tongued, a little bit more blunt, a little bit more kind of like on that edge, that sword's edge. So just be aware of this during this time. There is also a need to really connect with your throat chakra. Embrace your breath. Meditation will be so beneficial for you. Also know that you can start up bad habits. If you were a smoker or a vapor or anything like that, you can feel, or even if you are now, you can feel very inclined during this time to want to regulate your breath by doing one of those things, or anything just to regulate your breathing. If you can move towards meditation, if you can move towards just slowing your breath, being aware of your breath without the aid of any sort of substance, that is going to be so beneficial to you. But just know during this time, we can be a little bit sharp-tongued, we can be a little bit too blunt, we want to see all the facts of things, and we can just be very logic-driven. So just be aware of that we can lose touch of the spark and the magic, Libra, that makes us us. So just be aware. And this is a general reading, so of course not everything is going to resonate. Take what resonates and forget the rest. Let's see what Spirit has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. And this is family reverse, so we can feel kind of isolated during this time, or we can be questioning, what is family, what is connection. Very deep, very philosophical energy can be around us, but just knowing that connecting with family, connecting with loved ones is going to be so important. And we just feel a little bit disjointed, even if we're like in the middle with everybody. We can just feel a little bit disjointed, a little bit absent. So be aware of that. Goodness. Okay. So let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides, angels. Okay. So you have a tremendous amount of healing coming forward, but we also have a tendency during this time to compare ourselves to everybody else. We're not living everybody else's life. we're living ours. So just be aware of that. We start to go into comparison mode, or we start to like, have the green eyes of jealousy come forward, to kind of step back or recognize that and say, okay, I know I'm in a negative space. I know that this is overwhelming for me. Just be aware of this. Just be aware. We'll go into this deeper in just a moment. Let's dive into things astrologically speaking, because Venus retrograde is from the 22nd of July to the 3rd of September. And this Venus retrograde is in Leo for the first time in 8 years. So in almost a decade, we're having this energy come back. Astrologically speaking, look at where we were 8 years ago. We can kind of see patterns that will either come forward that are blessings to us or that are frustrating to us. So just be aware of this during this time. This is a 40-day period to reflect on our relationships. We think of Venus retrograde mostly about romantic relationships, which is great, and it is, but it is also about every single one of the relationships that we have. Being aware of this, and especially the relationship that we have with ourselves, being aware of this is so important. It's a time to reconnect with what's in our heart, with what our heart wants, desires, needs, and how we need to move forward. Are we honoring our relationships? That's a huge question that Venus retrograde asks. Now, this is an intense time, but it's not a negative time. Retrogrades are never negative. They are just more intense. This is more intense around the connection with family, friends, relationships. Things can be a little bit more intense. Venus retrograde can bring back old flames, and these old flames could be people who inspired us. They don't have to be romantic old flames. Just know that people who were really inspiring, passionate, brilliant people in our lives. This can heal old wounds. This can also let us move forward. So just be aware of this. Reconnecting with people you haven't heard of or heard from for years, like 8 years or better, that's the thing during a Venus retrograde. It is a time to rediscover our individuality and our self-worth, and also to reconnect with what's in our hearts and get back in touch with our passion in life. Now, note that a Venus retrograde, and especially this Venus retrograde in Leo, can really affect our spending habits. We want to feel seen and we want to feel validated. And I see this as us going for big ticket items, big spending, name brands. Even if it's something small, we want it to be name brand. We want it to have that, special experience that the sales clerk will give us. So just know that we can be very kind of taken in by that being made to feel special, being made to feel, almost one of a kind. So just be aware. This can also alter our relationship with beauty, with fashion, with the arts. Again, we want to be seen, there we go, and validated. And this can make us move in a direction that without needing other people's validation, we wouldn't have normally moved in. So just be aware of that. And we tend during this time with the 10 of Cups reverse to have the sense, especially if we don't have that, and this isn't negative, okay, at all. But there are some people who are Libras who are watching. You have a very strong sense of self, okay? This isn't you. With the 10 of Cups reverse, this is for people who are on their journey and who are looking at other people. It's like, am I doing it right? Right? Am I moving forward the right way? Do I have this all figured out? And we're looking towards others and we're going to be like, oh man, they're doing it better than me. Oh wow, they have this figured out. And that can be very overwhelming during this 40-day period. So just be aware of this. If you have a strong sense of self and, you're firmly, rooted, you've done a lot of work in you, you're not going to be as affected as other people or affected at all. But for those of us who are questioning, who are seeking, who are not always as confident in ourselves as we want to be, this is going to be a big time for us. Okay, also know with a Venus retrograde, scandals, hidden love affairs, they can come to the surface during Venus retrograde. So just be aware of that. Now, with the devil energy, this is very interesting because this came through in the subconscious of Virgo. So if you're born on the cusp of Virgo or you have Virgo energy in your chart, check that out. Check that video out because this energy here, it doesn't come up so much as addictions, though for some of us it will. What it comes up is like we want everything to be strictly ordered. It's very strong. I'm just seeing very strong Saturn energy coming forward, a place for everything and everything in its place. We cannot order our hearts. We can't make them listen, work on a certain time schedule, be exactly what we want them to be. This is going to be a time where we look at things and we start to embrace the horned one. The conglomeration of nature gods is what makes up the devil in Christianity. So what we're going to see here is there's a sense of, can I embrace the freedom of me? Does it have to be ordered? Does it have to be structured? Or can it be a little bit wild, a little bit daring? Not in a negative way at all, not in an unsure way, but in a way that is having us really look at ourselves, see ourselves, discover ourselves, and say, the light is hiding. The light is hiding, and yet it's right by me. And yet it is still warming me. It is still warming the rocks. It is still warming me. With the Ace of Cups, this is God's source spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing us a gift of healing, beautiful love. Are we taking it? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. With the Two of Cups, we are absolutely taking it, even though it's not a court card. The Ace of Cups is telling us that this is a very emotional time. Water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. This is a very emotional time. It is a time where we can have a lot of tears, where we can be very intense, very driven, very focused. We can see our emotions as weakness. We can want to purge away this healing, this cleansing that divinity is doing and think, oh my gosh, this is so useless. This is so just not what I want right now. And that's okay. We can be at that point in our life. We can push this away. But if we don't, we are going to see ourselves moving forward a little bit lighter, a little bit more free, a little bit more connected with our hearts. But that connection with our hearts can be very scary. It can be very overwhelming. It can, bring up things that we thought, oh, I don't have to deal with this, or I don't have to look at this. So just be aware of this during this time, that divinity is handing us a cleansing gift of the heart, of the soul, of the self. And it's going to be moving us forward in a brilliant way. But it's a bit overwhelming. So it can be that we can say to spirit, I'm not ready for this, or it's too much right now. I'm dealing with too much. I don't need this as well. The Two of Wands, we have the repeat of the number 2 here. This is a romantic connection can be coming forward. 2 is a beautiful partner number. It's also a creative number. So just know this about this time. It's very creative. It's very much you work better in a team than all by yourself. And with the Two of Wands, doors are opening. You're looking towards the future. Be very mindful not to make your future your only aim, right? Prepare for the future, yes, but live in the present. And that's tricky, right? That's tricky, especially when we have that Saturn energy coming forward. That's like structure, 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 order, order, order. How are things going to be, in the next week, the next week, the next week, or next day, like structure everything. We need to look at things, not let the future take over, but also to open up the door to ourselves. There's going to be a sense of looking at things in a very different way, in a much more open, honest, connective way with us. And with the Two of Cups, this is healing, beautiful love coming forward. There's a sense of us having strong connections during this time, but also strong healings to move us in a direction that we hadn't noticed that we needed to be in. A healing with the sacred masculine, sacred feminine part of ourselves. There's somebody from the past coming forward during this time, all right? Or we can be thinking about somebody from the past, and we'd be healing a lot of energy that has been holding us back, like guilt that we've been carrying, or wow, I should have done things differently. Stop it. Stop it. We have that tendency during this time with the 10 of Cups, like the shouldas, the couldas, the wouldas, they come through very intensely. And Spirit's like, no, let it go. Also, we have a strong energy during this time, Libra, to kind of be like peacocks, really want to show off, and bigger is better, bigger is better. Spirit's saying, calm down with that, because that can get us in trouble. And it's better to have money in the bank. It's better to save than it is to spend. So just be aware of this. Not of course if we need to spend on necessities, but just be very aware, because yeah, the energy here is one of like big ticket items just coming forward. I just see that sense of, oh wow, look at what I've obtained. And then after we've obtained that, it's like, okay, we're on to the next thing. We're on to the next thing. Be very aware of that energy during this time. It comes through very, very strongly. All right. So let's see what Spirit wants us to be aware of during this time, be mindful of subconsciously. This is the Ace of Swords reverse. This has to do with us, right? So we take this gift, right? We have the same deck. We're connecting. We have the Ace. We have the Court card of the King of Swords. We have the Ace of Swords. And this is toxicity coming forward. This is focusing more on hurtful, hateful words than on positive blessings that build us up. And this can also be, not hearing things fully. So we can hear something, we can get like half a truth. It's like, oh, okay, that's the full truth. But no, there's something that has been left out. So just be aware of this. It's like half a story is what I'm hearing. Our subconscious spirit message is compassion reversed. And this is telling us that we need to be compassionate with ourselves. We are going to have a tendency, really, we're embracing that Saturn energy quite intensely because our Venus is in retrograde, and we have a tendency to not be very compassionate with ourselves. It's like, just push forward, just go after, if you mess up, it's a big deal. It's like, no, bring that compassion forward. The 10 of Cups in the upright position is healing, beautiful love. It's connecting with our hearts and our souls and ourselves. It's being happy. It's loving our lives, even if they're not exactly as we had planned them. It brings us to our subconscious tarot message. And this is the King of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Fire and passion. This Venus retrograde is in Leo. We're embracing the fire. We're embracing the passion. We're embracing the change. We're also connecting with our sacral chakra, the energy of our life passion, our life purpose, what we desire within our life, our fertility of self and creation. We're connecting with that energy, and it's moving us forward in passion, in power, in beauty, and in brilliance. There is a sense here of, can I dare myself? Or can I let myself embrace the passion that I have in my heart and my soul? It's a little bit scary, but it's a little bit wonderful. So just be aware of that. This is a very transformative time. We're also looking at a lot of fears that we've had, a lot of fears that we've held onto, and are releasing them. We're releasing them. And that's a big thing. All right, Libra. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy, as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this time and of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Libra. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. I love you all. God bless. Bye.